Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the BTS Europe series, the 4th edition of it. We're in playoff day right now, the second series today, and then we'll go into the grand finals, of course. Right now, it is Team Virtus.Pro versus Friends. Now, Virtus.Pro, boom, game one, it's over. I mean, I don't know what to say. Ramsey's gyrocopter, they tried to make some plays onto him. Unfortunately, Oracle things happen. He ended up healing up. He ended up doing a triple kill later on, soon followed by a double kill. At that point, he is a flying battleship that you just can't even do anything about. I don't know if there's much more to say about game one.
Yeah, I mean, No Fear was really good in a defensive sense on the Oracle, but his offensive plays seemed to leave a lot to be desired in the early stages of the game, and it just snowballed from there. The gyrocopter, the OD got big. I was like kind of theory crafting a way for Freds to try to fight their way back into it. And it's like even a PA triple critting a gyrocopter. This guy's got 3k HP. He's got like 20 armor. It's insane. Like I kept on calling different items for like the gyrocopter because I thought the game would be pretty even, relatively speaking. I felt that VP could, our Friends could have done a lot more with the laning phase, but in the end, he was just like double net worth. So it's just like piling it on stats up to stats up to stats, and we get to a point where now Friends are shaken. They had just got destroyed. I think the end score was 2-21. They call it GG before the Rax falls. Let's see different Friends for game number 2.
Well, they get to have a nice start, I would suppose, grabbing up a Darkseer Riki, but it does come at a bit of a cost here. Virtus.Pro have been able to finagle themselves a Drow Ranger with their first pick. So Friends opted instead to get that Shadow Demon Oracle combo off of the playing field, which obviously led to them being able to pick up something like the Darkseer. So feeling pretty good about that, and feeling pretty good about I almost said Yoku picking it up because I'm so used to seeing Yoku in the off lane, but allowing Undershock to be able to pick it up and have his place there. For Virtus.Pro, pairing with that Drow Ranger, they go with an early commitment to the Dazzle, so that's a bit peculiar. I don't know if that is alluding to the idea of maybe even something like a Wisp being able to be creeped in, but they just trust that having that good, sturdy, well-rounded, sustained support is going to be just an essential tool to the game plan. So.
I mean, yeah, the pushing presence is sustained by heals, and I think that Dazzle is probably one of the better heroes to enable it, the armor aspect, but they don't ban out the Winter Wyvern, which I'm most worried about here. So the Dazzle always has to keep a relatively close distance to Drow with level 1 Grave, and you're also going to have other heroes that build around her. So I do think the Winter Wyvern is a really strong pick here. They put so much in the physical damage, Egg Basket, and of course she can play as like a 5-position babysitter as needed. You've got the Darkseer to combo up with Cloud. You follow that up with the Winter's Curse to guarantee 1 or 2 kills, and you're kind of good from there. I feel like this is going to be a very difficult lineup to play up against already for VP, even though Drow Ranger is considered one of the highest value picks. Like, we've been seeing a lot of first phase bans, and Radiant side Drow Ranger is even more powerful in terms of early push, early farm. But here we are. She's kind of up against the hard place with this Darkseer Riki early on, and
I want to see the Wyvern. I want to see the Wyvern. I feel like it has not been picked up recently with a lot of the Drow picks. It had been a go-to pickup as a good counter at TI. You know, it could be multiple factors between teams not really having a Wyvern kind of a player, or maybe just kind of slipping their mind because you just don't kind of think about it. I suppose for the players, they obviously have the hero list in front of them, so you can gloss it over. But yeah, I mean, do feel like it's been underutilized as that counter Drow pick.
I mean, a couple of patches ago, everybody was a Wyvern player. That hero was absolutely insane.
How many patches ago? Are we talking like old ulti patches ago?
Okay. So it's probably, yeah, like 5 or 6 patches ago. But honestly, the only thing you have to relearn is the ultimate. Like, as long as you realize that the ultimate is completely different and you use it in completely different scenarios, the heroes still, otherwise, the other 3 aspects of the hero are completely the same.
Yeah.
Other than the Aghanim Scepter, which we really don't
should not be seeing on a Wyvern, unless it's some sort of cool Wyvern, and that's a totally different game in itself. Overthrow Aghanim's Wyvern, though.
All right.
You can have fun with that, people. Go take that out to your local Overthrow. But here and now, not yet to see on the side of Friends, but what they opt to go for instead, Blaze, a spicy, fiery pickup in the Ember Spirit. Can't help but feel like that is, I don't know if that's supposed to, yeah, okay, you got Iron Shell and Ember Spirit, there's synergy there, but an Ember Spirit in 2016, I mean, I don't know, maybe Yoku's calling out for it, maybe they feel like it's a comfort pick. That's a bit peculiar to me, because normally he'd been like good for all those huge illusion-based heroes, but you know what, man, Pudge is Pudges just keep coming up.
Yeah, and they keep losing too.
I've seen like this is like the 5th Pudge or so in the BTS series, and you're right, every single one has lost.
Mostly because they're picked up from a losing position. They're like, well, screw it, let's just try something different and see how it works. Well, this is different. I mean, VP G2A just stomped through the first one. Either this is just a little bit of swagger, saying we're that good, but you know, they could be considered a couple of different ways.
Who's playing it? Is it Lil's not the 4, right? He's been the 5 for their team.
He used to play 4 position. Now he's been playing 5. So I guess it would be a solo Pudge.
Interesting. Well, Solo has always shown that he's had. I mean, he's a veteran, a crafty veteran in the game itself. He has a pretty deep hero pool. He's played numerous positions. He was the 5 for Vega, so he's played everything in that position. But it is interesting to see them two kind of swap roles for Virtus.Pro. And what's more interesting is that still to this day, it's got to say something that when you have the best Visage player like pretty much on the planet on your team, and you're still not going for it with a Drow Ranger first pick, Blaze. Come on, you love this hero Visage.
I do.
Why are they not still going for it? You have the best Visage player. Is it still not that good of a hero? Is it not the right time? What is it?
Ice Frog, please buff. Like, I just want to see more from Visage in general. Like, a couple things is that his mobility is still really bad. Like, you end up going, even though you're mana dependent, you go Tranquil Windlace just to get to the fight because you are very slow. On top of that, your hero, because they buffed up the Gravekeeper's Cloak a lot, is not as vulnerable. The familiars are still. Like, at 4 attacks, they were the most imbalanced thing in the world. At 3 attacks, they're still against, like, Echo Saber and all these different things that can attack them really, really quickly. They feel very vulnerable. I like the new stun time. It's nice, but I could see like I could see a movement speed buff on the familiars helping a lot. Like, you give them 10 more movement speed, I'd play Visage for sure.
So they kind of just took away such a huge component to them that left them pretty damn low on that like tier chart a bit.
Or improve Grave Chill. If Grave Chill is buffed like 10 more %, then I'd play that hero.
It's just a matter of getting a few more either extra numbers or a few more little pads.
It's about, like, the hero is all about positioning, staying on the periphery of the fight, and just laying in the soul assumptions where it's convenient, and then getting really good familiar stuns out. And I feel like his movement is so bad. His familiars are it's very clear where they're moving, and they're very slow about doing it. The stun time helps, but why not just move the familiars a little bit faster so they don't die on the way there? So I could see either Grave Chill slowing more or movement speed familiars or something. But right now, even with the highest synergetic combo of Drow, it's still not.
I mean, I was saying that for like Earth Spirit. Like, once it was pretty recognizable, I'm like, here we are with Liquid, Jarex. They have the opportunity to go for it, and they're still not. That says something. Here, you're not seeing Visage. That says something in itself. Getting Pudge also says something for your draft, I suppose.
Yeah.
Since then, we've seen the follow-up Friends committing in. It looks like they've been able to grab the Witch Doctor for themselves to pair along with what we imagine being that Riki support. Virtus.Pro, I mean, I don't know. Is this still saying something about confidence, about like we feel we can win with what we got? Obviously, Invoker is a solid mid laner. Now he gets the extra benefit of the Drow Ranger aura. Where do you think the Invoker fits up into all of this? And is it just kind of something that spirals away from like what Friends have drafted together, in particular that Ember Spirit?
I'm curious if he goes Wex Invoker here. If you go Wex and you go like the Tornado to break the Ember's Flame Guard, and then you EMP and he can do absolutely nothing, I think that could be pretty solid. I think if you're Exort, you're very vulnerable to the Riki Ember ganks. Like, you can actually, if you position yourself right, you can get the Darkseer to Ion Shell the Riki as he's making a move towards mid. You can have Flame Guard, Ion Shell, and a Riki all on this Invoker, and it can be very difficult very quickly. Abaddon, so they're just looking to turn fights. It's going to be like a Pudge Abaddon off lane, and the Pudge will roam mid.
That's so good together. Oh, Rot, Shield, I mean...
They just want to keep these heroes alive. They just want Pudge, Invoker, and Drow to not be afraid. They wanted them to be able to go in against Riki, against whoever, and just win the fights, because you can turn it with Shadow Wave, with Grave, with Mistcoil, with Aphotic Shield. Like, they have so many great abilities just right in the thick of things.
Kind of curious who's playing what, by the way.
The Curse of Avernus is actually really good for pushing, too. Like, you can just all hammer down a tower so quickly with the attack speed. So, I really like this pickup. I think Abaddon is probably one of the more underrated heroes in the patch, and across the past few patches. But we're going to see an answer in the PL here for the safe lane.
Interesting.
Or actually, they're going to look for a mid 1v1, the Phantom Lancer versus the Invoker, and then they're going to put the Ember Spear in the safe lane, maybe.
Well, I just saw Yoku grab up that Ember, so I think that seems to be the case, All right, and away we go, folks. We'll get it started now. It's game number 2 of our second best-of-3 series for you today to round out the final day of the BTS Europe series. One of these teams is going to be walking away. It's a $5,000 prize pool. Are we splitting it up between the first 3 teams, Blaze? I don't know if we are. Probably. The 5,000 prize pool, we splitting it up? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's 2,500 for first, it's 1,500 for second, and then third and fourth get 500.
Sweet. All right. We'll see who gets to walk away with the bigger chunk of change or not. Just one more best of 3 after this. We'll close everything out. Early TPs and roams to get some of that extra vision down here a bit. Always want to fly under that Ricky cover. He's looking to dig a bit deeper here to see if he can get a little bit extra on the scouting report or not. But
seconds to battle.
Lil is going to be the one to play the Pudge. Yeah, I was very curious to see who was going to play what on Virtus.Pro. With that last pick coming out as the Abaddon, I really had no idea.
Yeah, that you don't even. Oh, they got it. They smoked up the Pudge, so they'll get the dust on the Riki. Cold Snap will set it up, and we're going to be seeing a first blood on Always Wanna Fly.
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. And it goes to no one, and that's the sound of the Horde. Can we get a good luck, have fun now? Okay, no? All right.
Looks like Bounty Room might still be contested on the bottom lane. It's going to be clear cut for the friends on the top, despite the first blood. But yeah, good usage of the smoke there, not only to try to get wards out, but to try to scout the Riki. And he makes his way into the perfect position to get the kill. So yeah, when you look at it here like Pudge, you don't talk about like, oh, this guy plays 4 and this guy plays 5. The economical situation isn't so like clear cut that you're like, oh well, I'm 4, so I guess I can't play the Dazzle. No, Solo will swap up for this if he feels less comfortable on the Pudge, and it looks like Lil just knows that what he's capable of on the hero. You land a couple of good hooks early on, and you make a name for yourself.
Yeah, I really don't know if it's a factor at all. I know Lil is a huge pub player in his own right, normally even playing his dirty-ass Visage in those games, but I'm sure he has got a share wealth of Pudge games to show, as the domination seems to continue here. Always Want to Fly. Man, it was a tough game 1, starting to a tough game 2. He dies twice back-to-back here. Lil getting involved in both of them. This time he claims the kill, and off we go already for Virtus.Pro.
So I do pick up the Sentry Ward there, and Lil will suicide one way or another. I guess it doesn't matter if the Rot kills here, the neutrals will shortly thereafter. But yeah, now it's going to be like Always Want to Fly, battling it out, Sentry Ward Wars, and I think they saw that one placed. So they're going to be able to put a Sentry Ward down, get back, control back over this lane, and the big thing is Riki getting level 2. In that situation, it's actually really rough for the Riki. Oh no, Solo might be able to tangle this one if they see it.
Oh, dust is popped. Lil is back. Always Want to Fly, always want to die. He goes down again. 3-0. Tough times right now for the Riki. And it doesn't stop there yet. Afterlife. Oh no, Afterlife. Don't go too far. He went too far, and they were too hungry. Blaze, it's 4-0 before 2 minutes in. And it's all again going the way of Ramsey's lane.
Both times sacrificing themselves just to get the D ward out, which can be good. Now there's no sentries, but you fed the Dazzle, who just buys more sentries. So no problem at all unless you snipe the courier. They're going to be able to keep the detection flowing down bottom and keep getting kills. Now, I want to talk why Riki is so bad level 1 in this situation. Level 2 is so much better. It's because, like, right now, if you get dusted, you're using items doesn't break your invis, right? So you have to turn around and attack them in order to break your own invis, because otherwise the Dust of Appearance is going to reduce your movement speed by 20%. So you have to break your own invis deliberately just to get out of there, and you might as well be doing it like smokescreen and auto attack and try to like allow the Darkseer to put some damage back the other way. At level 1, you just can't do anything. Or obviously, if you're in a really bad spot, blink striking out. But we'll see on mid.
Yeah, they've stepped away from that bottom lane. It looks like they might get something their way now.
Oh, this is
nice tornado. Not going to be able to get it.
Yeah, if Undershock is actually tanking the tower and the Invoker guesses that really quickly, he can cold snap him under tower and bring Undershock down to like 100 HP. But just goes ahead, salves himself up, and still has a Fairy Fire in his back pocket if he needs it.
Friends will get the first flying courier, so they do win that. But outside of that, things not looking so great right now. Let's quickly touch base with top lane, which has been a bit on the quiet side. It's been Yoku benefiting the most from it, though, overall, as he has high CS in the game, 22-4. Though Ramsey is happy to make the argument that he is close in the CS department and has some kill participation to work with on his front. Between Yoku and No Fear, though, they'll just try their best to make the most out of it. Pasha is happy to survive and be in the lane and just step up XP and contest what he can.
Yeah, seeing Abaddon go for the Ike Smite build up here, but now he's going to be in a little bit of trouble. Has to wait for the steering chains before he can go for the shield, and not going to come, so he's just going to tank himself back up. But far, far from his Tranquil boost. As you can see, he doesn't even have one only has 1 of 3 components, and so it's going to be hard for him to sustain. He can survive thanks to the poor man's shield, thanks to his own aphotic shield, but
yeah.
as far as actually staying on the lane and not just being forced back every time he comes up, that's another story entirely.
Assume, and you referenced it a bit there, the IX might build up, that means Tranquils into Vlads eventually?
Yeah, as well as the skill build, making sure no points of miscoil right now, just maxing your aphotic and getting some curse and just kind of being right up in their face. Ideally like your 0-4-2-1 in this build up, where miscoil is still a really good value point for suicides. If you can't get the suicide, it doesn't matter.
Bottom lane, they're looking to make an approach for Ramses here. He gets the gust off. Always want to fly, gets one last little jab in, but Ramses keeps him in check. Gets off a couple of shots right there, and no follow-up will be had. Solo continues to try his best. Oh, did he get the vision? Oh, it's like right on the line. Oh, it's just before. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at 2 radiant.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're. I was like, I'm sitting right next to you, man. I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm looking for a hook on mid here.
Sentries here. That's what's happening. We'll check out where the real action is breaking out. As Lil is waiting for the hook. He got it. Good connection right there. Under shock. The doppelganger to the low ground, but the tornado is waiting for him. And okay.
Wow.
Oh my! Did he really?
No,
just
no, no,
slip
no,
out the backside?
He might suicide though. There's no way. There's no way.
He couldn't get the hook. Oh, he'll still get him in the end. Man. Close to being a big play, but that will be the 5th kill instead for Virtus.Pro.
Yeah, I think you go neutrals there. I don't think there's like almost any chance that you're going to be able to actually get out of that situation, but you almost 2D-need it. Either way, yeah, we do see that the Invoker is going for that Quas-Wex I was talking about. I think it's really good for fighting out in the early game. It's harder for the Ember Spirit to deal with. Even outside the laning configuration, it's just like if you're out of mana, you can't use your Fire Remnants. It's actually pretty expensive at 150, and yeah, you just might be killed off because of it. Speaking of it.
Yeah, always when Fly gets killed off, it's a casual tornado there at the end, and it's kind of free food for the Invoker. And will allow him to just move his way up and picks up the bounty route on top of it. So things just going even better now for Virtus.Pro at that.
6-0. It feels like Friends just really can't get a grasp on finding kills in the early game and more so preventing deaths. I think that's their bigger issue, is just that they're committing too much in the wrong spots and they ended up feeding away so much that each kill becomes harder.
We'll just have to reach to see what their turnaround is going to be at this point.
Oh, another kill on Riki. It looks like he's got the Blink Strike to his ally, but the hook pulls him right back in. And you look at Lil's contribution here, 2, 1, and 4.
This is what we've been wanting to see from a lot of the Pudges every time they get picked up. This is, I don't know, like the 5th time I've personally seen it picked up in the BTS series. And each and every time it feels like they are roaming around a bit, but we have not been able to see a lot of success. Lil has been able to kind of make an approach, and I mean, it does feel like almost that kills are just falling in his lap, but he'll take all those kills, and his Pudge is making an impact.
Exactly what it is. It's he smokes up, and he finds the Riki. Like, you can either scan the Riki, or smoke the Riki, or you can walk under Sentry Wards, and most of this has just been smoking the Riki. So you've only got 2 smokes left for VP, but Lil, he's been involved in 6 of their 7 kills, most of them on this Riki, actually 5 of the 7 on Always Wanna Fly. So he just smokes up to him, or he finds him under the sentry and just keeps him locked down with the dust. So really good movement here from Lil, getting his early contribution in and making things very, very difficult for the Riki.
And now with Arcanes here, obviously could be split up into an eventual Aether Lens for even longer reach, but now has all of that mana to back it up. He can casually throw out hooks without having to worry about going back and totally beating up his mana once again.
And we see a D-Ward immediately coming out here. Didn't even see it. It's just complete luck that that happened, but Solo denies any vision in this side of the map.
Swing and a miss on the hook there in the mid lane. Boker was trying to shoot back the PL into said hook, but Undershock not to be caught by it. Lil be able to step off, he gets the battery room for himself, and maybe he might join his good buddy Mr. Pasha here in the top lane. Pasha has been playing his own game pretty much for the whole way through. He's getting closer to that level 6 on his Abaddon. But now him and Lil can tag team that top lane, but they might need to hustle to the bottom lane soon. Solo's in trouble. He's going to get the Grave off, but obviously with a 4-on-1, it is time for Friends to get their first kill of the game.
It's time for Always Wanna Fly to get some boots. All right, he's going to TP up top. We'll see how that works out for him. Lil seems to have a good idea of what's happened. The Iron Shell action onto Ramses. Undershot coming in with the slow, but somebody's going to get hooked. I don't think it's going to be very good for Friends in the end.
Let's see. Lil's looking for the shot. Ramsey's in big trouble. He's got to do something eventually. Eventually, always while Fly sees the approach of the others, tries to back up and away, but not going to be making it too far. Lil with the killing spree. They'll clear up the illusions, and the approach of Friends is canceled just as fast as it started.
Yeah, it's just too much right now, and we're going to see No One start doing a lot of damage. He's got his Wex up at a pretty good point, and he's got that Precision Aura at 33. So now the Drow beyond level 6 is giving so much to the Aura, and low armor heroes that we're seeing here are just going to struggle. Like, there's 6 armor on the Ember Spirit, like the Aquila, but...
Why does Lil have 2 Windlaces?
So that, I mean, I assume it's just a misbuy, but you might as well save one and turn into a Yules later. It does not stack, though. But if you do want a Yules, it's kind of annoying. I've actually been in multiple situations where I buy Yules, and then I'm like, I still want the Windlace movement speed. I'll buy another Windlace. So that's the only situation where it really comes in, is if you're getting drums or Yules. But otherwise, he's just trolling around with his items.
That's Lil in a handbasket, really, though.
Yeah.
Pasha still pushing confidently forward. I mean, now that you are, I was going to say level 6, but he didn't even level it, but feeling pretty indestructible at this point.
Yeah, you hold that point. Unless eventually you skill it up no matter what, but if you can, just hold it onto it for the heat of the moment so that it doesn't automatically proc at 400 HP, because that's half your HP right now. So what you can do is you can wait until you're down to like 100, 200 HP, skill it up then, it'll activate immediately, and then you'll be able to survive at the lower health level, and it's just better.
Unless you're like a savant and you can instantly do the math calculation and you level 4 shield instead and get the kill with it. That happens. Mid lane, there's going to be a hook pullback, and what a catch right there by Lil to go for Undershock. It's going to force him to doppelgang back it away, but here comes a jump in nice from No Fear. Commits to the Death Ward, and they'll be able to get the takedown. It's only for the Dazzle. Pasha's still deep in the mix right now. Still hasn't leveled up that ulti. Doesn't even need to do so. Meanwhile, bites on 4. That's from Lil. Back at mid lane. Gets a nice snag and will help take down the Doctor.
At least some kills are on the board. 2 for Friends at this point. I mean, they're having to rotate pretty heavily for it. Like, they're scrambling everybody just to respond to these pushes, because that's what you kind of need to do against the Drow, is just decide as a team to collectively sacrifice the tower or defend it with everything you've got.
Uh-oh. Afterlife. Anyone from Friends who tries to come in to stop this push is at immediate threat right now. And they spotted always want to fly too with the help of the sentry, and then a dust follow-up. 0 and 7 for the Ricky right now, and the stampede of Virtus.Pro does not stop there. Certainly when you have a Drow in your team, Blaze. And this tier 2 might be crumbling as well. That can only mean that we'll be quickly pushing past this 5K net worth point and potentially into a very fast series, Blaze, if things keep going this way.
Yeah, Ricky's death line there is that assassins never die, they just fade away. No, you're fucking feeding, dude.
No, like, you're feeding dead, dude.
You're 7 deaths in 12 minutes. Like, I don't even know at this point. He's trying, he really is, but in the end, like, this max backstab build, all it does is allow your tricks of the trade to do a little bit more damage. Like, he just needs to stay as far away as possible and only just poke a smoke screen and run. Like, that, he needs to have, like, the most defensive instincts in his mind. Killer instinct is not going to bring you back into this game. It's just, you gotta stop feeding.
Mid lane, no one. Tornado EMP setup, looking to get his own solo kill here for PL, but now runs into Yoku, but he's got that force. Butt slides away from trouble, but Yoku is not pulling off yet. But look who's waiting in the wings. Lil. Swing and a miss on the hook. Not going to be able to catch him. He's getting closer to the Aether Lens now. Just a few gold away. And opts to go for the extra reach. But with the hooks he's been able to pull in, can't really fault the man too much here. Friends are going to go back to the Grindstone to farm.
That's an interesting thing I've never seen happen, but because marksmanship wore off on the Drow Ranger, they know that Riki's near. I've actually never seen that method of detection. Like, obviously smoke, Slark getting vision, or the Shadow Dance removed, stuff like that. But he just lost marksmanship, and they're like, oh, there's some shit nearby, and they find him.
Wow, nothing going the way of always wanting to
fly.
Caught out again, Tornado, solo, backs away with a grave here, but then is quickly taken down at the end. No Fear, also going to be dropped on that one. Undershock in the midst of it. Rots are there aplenty. Double kill for no one. Ramsey's got the kill there. My God, 4 drops so fast. It could be 5 here with Yoku. A 5-man wipe, just a casual 5-man wipe. Almost 14 minutes in, 14-3. Virtus.Pro came to play. Well, they're not able to get that finish onto Yoku, but they're not respecting.
Oh my gosh, if Lil had that one, that would be absolutely insane. He found the remnant and he was camping it, but he just couldn't get the line. That would have been 5, but even so, 14 to 3, racking up another death, 0 and 8 for the Riki. It's still technically he's higher net worth than Solo, just because Solo's been investing so heavily in the sentries and the wards and the consumables to try to get more kills on Riki.
Oh no, Riki will be able to bounce away from this one. They dropped the sentry, but it was for the low ground. Now, while that happened, we just witnessed the back end of what was no one getting a solo pick onto Yoku. So he made it away from that fight, but he eventually got tracked down later by no one. No one was not going to let that one go, and he didn't. No. So technical 5-man wipe, I guess, at the end of the day. Virtus.Pro, tier 1 bottom. Time for a tier 2 mid. The net worth, it's going to continue to climb, so get the rope ready.
Yeah, this Earnest Shadows plus Cold Snap build is just so great for isolating and killing off heroes. He doesn't have an Orca, he's actually going to go for Hurricane Pike, but finding those kills, just showing when an enemy has no mana, just how little they can do.
That is a tier 2 at no expense whatsoever for Virtus.Pro. And now they're looking to just really put Friends into a serious hurt locker. They smoke and they wait. Oh yeah, that's great. The classic smoke back. Yoku's like, yeah, they're not here. Ooh, barely misses the hook. Tornado will catch though. If it's not one skill, it's another. And he gets bitten and he gets eaten and he's down. Oh my, 16 to 3. Virtus.Pro really looking forward to playing Elements Pro Gaming with the way they've been emphatically stomping through this series.
I feel like something happened in one of their gyrocopter ganks that just broke them. Either with the triple kill that they fed them or the double kill right after, but since then, Friends have just not been playing like it. They've gone to mere acquaintances. They're downgrading to like hub guys that you meet for one game. It's just gradually they're losing synergy, they're losing coordination, they're just losing focus on the game. They are starting to get into full tilt mode, and I think Always Wanna Fly is about to die again.
Lil stalking him as he walked on the back end of that sentry. Doesn't have the vision now, but okay, they're thinking about going. Always Want to Fly would love revenge here. He's like, if I can kill this punch.
He's like,
oh, he's like, that felt so good. But does he a tornado and we'll walk away. Oh God, Ramses is here. Okay, he's good.
Yeah.
Must felt good to finally get that punch down though.
If Solo's sentry ward was placed anywhere northeast of its current position, they would have seen the Riki, and either the punch wouldn't have gone into that, or would have actually just gotten the hook on Riki and gone from there. But as it stands, just VP things, still up 16 and 4. They have their Aegis on the Drow Ranger, and I don't think they're going to hesitate on this one to push the high ground.
Certainly not. No one gets his own Hurricane Pike, so just gotta say something about that. As he's up and in, looking to poke quite a bit at this tier 3. Decent coconut. Tornado will not find a target. And for now, Friends are holding the high ground here. But Virtus.Pro not afraid to test them. Know that they just hold so much more as far as items and progression that Friends certainly can't have enough defenses to stop them, right? So they're going to keep going while they can. Plus, you got the factor of Lil, who probably look to continue to fish out hooks. They have great sieging potential. I mean,
yeah, Ether Hook is so great in this position. If you could stay out of vision, like it's so difficult for Friends to actually move against you. I think PL is the only one who can get away with it. Maybe the Ember if he's really, really quick on the Activate Fire Remnant and he doesn't get gusted or dismembered. But you got to also remember that 9 Pasha, he's got a mechanism behind them, so like they'll keep the weave, they'll keep shadow waving, and they've got an extra 250 heal as well. It's just such a difficult position to fight into. It's a mech disadvantage, it's a 12 kill disadvantage. They don't have their death ward for 18 seconds. It just feels like it's already a done deal.
It feels bad, man. That's how it feels. It's just tough times right now for Friends. This is a stomping and a half, and it ain't getting any easier. Virtus.Pro are coming in for some serious base hurt right now, and they have even bigger, better items than they had previous. So as mentioned, like the mech to even provide the extra sustain. It's going to turn into a carnival game real quick for Virtus.Pro, just fishing out Friends members. And with enough pickoffs or with the right target caught, it could just lead to a quick forfeit here from Friends. We are currently waiting, as it looks like no one did need a sec, as Virtus.Pro have called a bit of a timeout. But you don't know. I mean, based on, let's say, Blaze, this game progresses forward and Virtus.Pro clinch it, how do you think they would hold up against a team like Elements?
We'll have to see after this siege, man. I mean, they are very fast-paced teams in general, but I feel like while Elements might have a stronger duo on the off lane, I feel like VP as a whole, as a 5-man team, are just a little bit better. We'll see.
Hook. That one, it will not find Yoku, but the tier 3 has already gone down. While you're considering Side 7 dodging arrows, Ramsey's killing buildings, so you got to do something. And I know you got to do something but not get caught out of position, man. Sleight of Fist not even connecting. Now someone came in and someone just got insta-hook. That person always want to fly, goes right into the tricks of the trade, pops the cloud, able to make it back and away, and everything, he all skills to make it back and survive. Undershock though. Ooh. Get out of the way of that man. Lil's trying to get close enough for the hook. Can he get it? No. No connection there. Back to the lane once again and back to the racks. No one goes to work with company. They silence up Yoku, and he's just dead. He is just long gone. Can't even have a say in the matter, Blaze.
What can a poor Ember Spirit do here? I mean, he farmed a safe lane. He farmed as fast as he could. He got his BOTs, and he realized I literally can't do anything. I don't have Battle Fury. I get gusted. I get 4-shot because I don't have no armor.
That was like a 40-minute series.
It really was. It was just 100% Virtus.Pro, G2A all the way. Ah, man. They are just doing so well right now, and I feel like friends are crumbling. They just didn't... They were putting up a fight at first, and then they just started like twitching and falling silent at the end.
It did really feel like that game 1 moment of trying to rush in, trying to take down the gyrocopter, leading to the triple kill. It's a breaking kind of a moment right there, and a huge confident boost for a team such as Virtus.Pro, and they will be awarded with the series win. Only 6 kills all day.
My favorite scoreline is actually the Riki kill scoreline. You just look at Dire Heroes killed, and you just see the Riki's face all over here. You're just like, yeah, painting a picture. It's like, yep, fed Invoker, fed the Abandoned once, the Pudge 3 times. All he just they didn't even have to buy that much detection for him. Solo was the one who's just racking in the sentries, but yeah, it's a hard day to be Riki.
Hard series to really be able to break down. I mean, it's just Virtus.Pro. I mean,
no, I got your breakdown right here, man. It looks a little bit like this.
Yeah, I mean, visually, if you want the breakdown, there it is. If you're just walking in and like, wait, when's game 2 start?
It looks a little bit like this for Mr. Riki. That's what it looks like.
If you're hoping for when the next game is going to begin, I mean, this series is already over. We might have a little bit of an intermission before Grand Finals with how fast and how swift this actually went down. But based on the momentum and how Virtus.Pro are feeling, I think it's safe to say that they got to be coming into the final as favorites against Elements. Don't get me wrong, Elements showstoppers themselves with our first series today, pulling out their own 2-0 in a pretty big upset. People would have expected a Virtus.Pro Vega final, but no. Elements have the stopping power.
And after day 1, I wasn't so sure about VP G2A. Like, obviously, I had to try to figure out the seeding for these teams that have never played together and such. But I looked at them, and I thought that they were really underperforming my expectations considering their roster. But then every game since then, ever since they got back from their boot camp and they just started hammering it out, I really do feel like VP have been the team that we want them to be, and could even be contesting a Tier 1 European spot. So I do think they'll take it over Elements, but we'll have to wait and see. It should be coming out pretty soon.
So with that, guys, we are going to be taking a bit of a break right now. We don't know exactly how long it's going to be. Head admin Blaze is going to be on it right now. If possible, we would love to get these 2 teams in the grand final right away and get things started. So once we find out exactly when we're going to be set to begin, I will pass the message along to you and we will get started. So sit tight. It's almost time for grand finals. Grand finals will be a best of 3 also, as it's Virtus.Pro versus Elements. We'll see you soon for it.